like in last year, Stanford struggled to run the ball across the board. What did you see with Austin Jones that convinced you that he could be an asset for you?
Yeah, I think the body of work. They turned on the tape, and we thought he was a very versatile player. We thought he did a good job. Obviously, used him a bunch in the throwing game last year, and did a really good job with that. We thought he was good in pass protection. We thought the opportunities he got to run the ball, he had good vision, explosion, ran hard. And again, I think just the combination of all that, and then bringing some experience and some game reps to backfield where we felt like that was important. It made it a no-brainer for us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Karchi.
Hey, Lincoln. Uh, any update on Relik's status for Saturday, and also just when you're facing a team like Stanford that obviously prides itself on being able to establish the run, how important is it to also be able to keep the ball and run the ball effectively on the other side?
Yeah, I would say any of our guys that got dinged up, which wasn't many, but I would say all of those guys are certainly still have a great shot to play in the game. I wouldn't even be close to ruling anybody out at this point, so I've been very positive there. Yeah, and in terms of the run game, it's absolutely important. I mean, you understand this is a game that it could potentially become a low possession game. That Stanford certainly has tried to do that at times in the past and done a really good job of it, and obviously puts a premium on how well we play defensively. It puts a premium on how well we can control the line of scrimmage offensively. And to make the most of those possessions, you're certainly going to have to be able to run the football. And so, I mean, I think the potential for a low possession game doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the potential for that maximizes the opportunities really for everybody on both sides of the ball. I mean, in essence, to boil it down, you got to make them count.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
RJ.
Hey, Lincoln. Alex Grinch got pretty emotional yesterday when we asked about Patrick Fields. Just kind of curious about your thoughts on him. And then between him and Austin at USC, do you kind of feel like it's kind of a wash in terms of the intel going into this game?
Pat's awesome. I mean, he's one of my favorite guys I've ever had the pleasure to coach. And probably even more and he did a lot for us on the field, but even more for what he did off the field. I was a captain, was extremely involved in the community, was extremely involved in some of the different movements that were happening kind of throughout those years. And just an awesome kid. I mean, a tremendous student. I mean, that was when he called me and told me he was, kind of his plan. It was kind of no surprise just because, the quality of the person he is. And he's a guy that's always looking forward and planning for the future and makes every move very strategically. And he was a guy that got the most out of his education. I mean, he he's one of those guys you wish you had 20 of them in a locker room, but they just don't make a whole lot like him. So love coaching him. It'll be, we texted back and forth a little bit this week. He texted me on my birthday, and it was good to hear from him. I'll be excited to see him. It'll be really, really weird being on a different sideline from him. And we had so many games and experiences and so many awesome moments together. So you won't find a bigger fan of him than me. And it's kind of strange having a guy we had last year on their team and then vice versa. I mean, that's kind of the new world. So I mean, I think the game will be settled on how both teams play on Saturday. I don't know that one way or another is going to have a huge impact. I mean, at some point you do what you do and you go out and go play.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio.
Hey, Lincoln, what was your impression of Corey Forman's performance last week, and where do you want to see him take steps forward over this week and the next few?
We thought it was a very positive performance. Ended up getting a few more reps than maybe we anticipated when Romello was ejected. Thought he started just I wouldn't say slow is not the right word, but he was kind of feeling it out. You could tell early in the game, And then as the game it went on, he got more aggressive, more comfortable, had some really nice individual plays. We thought he played pretty physical. So yeah, I thought consider some of the time that he's missed, I thought it was a very positive start. And I think something that Corey and all of us can certainly build on. So you see the longer he stays on the field, the more flashes you see and the more consistent they become. And he's had about, I don't know, three weeks now, with us where he's hasn't missed anything and he's consistently getting better and better. I think that showed up Saturday, and I would expect him to take another step and play better this week.
Adam?
Hey, Lincoln. What are some ways that Tanner McKee can test young cornerbacks, and does this feel like an important week in terms of figuring out like where those cornerbacks stand?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he's a really good quarterback. They've got some nice targets. He can make a lot of throws, and they do a good job schematically of giving you different looks. So yeah, I mean, it's a combination where, certainly at times you're going to end up, matched up out there, and it's going to be one-on-one, and you got to be really disciplined, certainly with all their run game and some of the play actions mixed and all that. You got to be extremely disciplined with your eyes. You've got to do a good job of trusting your technique, staying in great position, and understanding that this guy can make any throw. So you can't let your foot off the gas at any point. You can never relax with the guy that's it's a good player back there like he is. So sure, it'll be an important week. I mean, it's important for all this stuff. It's these games. Every part of your team's going to get tested, and if you do a good job, you'll test every part of their team, and hopefully we can give them a little bit more adversity than they give us.
Scott? Scott, you're on mute. Scott, you're on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yep.
Just learning how to do this. Coach, since you were hired, I've heard a lot of feedback on Annie Hansen, and just curious how vital she is to this program and how she came into your program.
Yeah, no, Annie's certainly a very key member. Got to know her a little bit when I first got to Oklahoma as the OC. She was working in the the administrative development side of things, and then she went to North Carolina with Larry Fedora, and I had a position open when I really kind of created a new position when I became the head coach, and wanted somebody with the skill set like she had, and she was really kind of the first person that I targeted for the job. And fortunately enough, we were able to get her, and yeah, she's become a huge part of our operation. She's I think really controls a lot of the recruiting and recruiting operations, which obviously is a huge job. She did a tremendous job for us at Oklahoma, and I thought having somebody with her experience, not only just in recruiting in general, but with how we want to run things, and somebody that was creative enough to adapt to all the advantages that you have here in Los Angeles, was really key. And I see. You feel like you kind of give her a blank canvas with all the opportunities here, and some of the things that we can do from a recruiting perspective are extremely unique and very specific to USC and to this area. And so now she's been a great fit. Obviously, it's awesome having Zach with us here on the offensive staff. I mean, they're a really good team and tremendous people, and just the kind of people that you want representing your program. And so I think she's one of the absolute tops in her field, and we're very fortunate to have her.
Thank you.
Shotgun?
Hey, Lincoln, Mekhi Blackman said that Stanford throws their jump balls a little bit different than other teams. Is there something you see that's unique with how they attack those one-on-one matchups on the outside?
I don't know. It's totally unique. I mean, they're obviously known for, historically for some of the bigger bodies out there. And so at times you see, almost it's I'm sure there's more to it than this, but it has a little bit more at times of like a jump ball aspect to it, just because of the size advantage that they have a lot of Saturdays. So they do a really good job of it. I mean, it's something that's a strong part of their offense. It's a difficult thing to defend, and they've taken advantage of their skill sets over the years. So, when they do get those one-on-one shots, our guys being able to stay in great position and defend those is obviously a very important part of this game.
Ryan Young.
How much extra work goes into this first year for you going through this Pac-12 schedule for the first time and not having as much familiarity with all these teams? And how did you kind of approach that from the start when you got here?
Yeah, there's more to it. I mean, there's, my bed's still out in here right now. So that tells you a little bit. It's everything's new in the first year, right? The opponents are new. It's new traveling, it's new schedules, it's new everything. So we've tried to do as much work on the front end to expedite some of this and to, make it feel less new. But the reality is, I mean, every part of these weeks, especially in the first part of the season, is new. And all, most of these opponents are people that, that we haven't played against. So it's fun. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I think our staff's really enjoying the challenge of the new, every part of it being new and the chance to adapt and find ways to give our team advantage, be it the schedule or something schematically. So, but it certainly, from that aspect, it certainly feels like a first year all the way around.
Thanks.
We have time for about these two more. Jack Smith.
Lincoln, you guys spread the wealth to a lot of the wide receivers on Saturday. I'm curious what you saw from the tight end position in that game and then what you've seen from them this week in practice.
Yeah, I thought our tight ends played pretty well. I was pleased with how they played. We didn't get many targets that way. It was just kind of the way the game unfolded. It was such a low possession and low play game that again, a lot of our starters were 25 to 30 reps. I mean, that's like a half most weeks. So just the way that it went, it got in the backs and the receivers' hands a little bit more throughout the game. But I mean, we feel good about the targets we have in there. They'll certainly continue to be a part of what we do. And that was, I know I told you guys coming in the season, it was one of the positions I was most excited to kind of see, like, what are we, right? What's our quality like? What's our depth like? What are our skill sets? And I thought I was very encouraged by some of the things that we did last Saturday. And if we continue to do that, I would imagine they'll, continue to become a bigger and bigger part of what we do.
And we have Shotgun.
Again, I know you didn't get a ton of snaps on Saturday, but just in general, how do you feel about how your rotations played out in the opener on both sides of the ball, actually?
I thought the rotations, considering the little bit strange nature of the game, were, I think, very positive. We played our starters like starters, which is what we're going to do. I mean, we told the guys from the beginning, starters are going to play like starters. Backups are going to play like backups. We're not going to have very many positions other than some occasional specifics, some occasional situations that come up. We're not going to have many positions where we're just, sit there and play guys 50-50. Now, obviously, the position you play, the situation, there's a lot of things that affect that. But our goal is the majority of this roster, the starters play a starter share, the backups play a backup share. And our message to the guys has been, if you want to be a starter, don't make it 50-50. If it's 50-50, we got to make a call. And sometimes when it's 50-50, sometimes it lands on heads, sometimes it lands on tails. If you go and clearly separate yourself, we're not going to screw that up. So, you want to be a starter, go win it outright, go make it convincing. And so our rotations will continue to reflect that.